In today's video, we're going to go over 5 hard truths about selling on Amazon FBA, mainly online arbitrage, that no one tells you on Instagram or YouTube or any of these platforms. This does not benefit me at all, because I have a community where I help people sell on Amazon. And this is kind of why I wanted to make this video. It's more kind of a rant video. So every month I run a school community called Advanced Arbitrage Tactics. And every month people come in and then people leave. And it's always really disheartening when people leave the community, because I put a ton of work into the community, call in favors to get big sellers on, and just try to do my best to answer everyone's questions, give exclusive videos, let you know what I'm up to, and just try to ask and do the best I absolutely can. And I'm not saying sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe you have a bad community, or maybe you're not doing a great job. And all that stuff goes through my mind, and maybe that is the case or whatnot. But in school, I have basically, you get like 6 different courses. So I have a quick start guide. I have all the coaching calls we've ever done. It's about 13 to 15 hours of calls at this point. How to avoid price tanking, tracking spreadsheet, the spreadsheet I personally use in my business, all this stuff. And when people leave, I could see how much a percentage of the course that they did, how many calls did they listen to, all this kind of stuff. And so I decided to look into this morning, and what I found was, out of the 10 people that are leaving this month, only one of them went through one of the courses. So, and they only did 33%. So they probably watched like an hour of, I think it's like maybe an 8-hour-ish worth of content course, live sourcing, all that stuff. So in my head, I was like, maybe you're doing a shitty job. But in reality, people just aren't consuming the content. Maybe I could do a better job of getting people to consume the content or something like that. But there is a welcome video that shows everyone like how to access it and stuff like that. So that is what's going to bring me to these 5 different cold hard truths, because I think sometimes people come into the community, think, hey, I'm just gonna watch one video and then I'm gonna have a 6-figure Amazon business. So that is not the case. So we're gonna crush these right here. Number 1, running an Amazon online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, whatever you decide to do for Amazon, is just hard in general. It is a business. It is a small business. Any small business is hard to run. Most small businesses actually fail. If you look at the statistics of how many succeed versus how many, I haven't looked at them recently, but most businesses fail within 7 years, I think, or that used to be the stat or something like that. So when you go into Amazon FBA, just know it is a business. It's going to be challenging, especially if you have no experience doing it. I personally had no experience doing what I started, so it's going to take a while for you to do that. Which brings me to number 2. You need to put in the work. I could build a great community, build a great quick start guide, interview some of the best sellers, and do all this stuff. But if you don't consume the content and take action on that content and apply it to your business, there's nothing I could do for you. I can't help you. Like I said before, it's always disheartening, because it's like, oh man, like if they're leaving, obviously I'm not giving them, they don't feel they're getting the value. But I guess if you're not consuming the content, whatever, this is not for you, and that's okay too. And that's kind of why the group is $15, because I feel like for $15 a month you could kind of go through it, or even just kind of look at some stuff and decide whether this business model is for you. A lot of people that are in the community are new, so I do think maybe they're like, all right, like I'm just gonna get started, and then they kind of realize it's a lot of work. So that goes to my first point. Number 3, you are going to lose money when you first start doing this business. Hopefully not too much, but in anything, you need to learn, you need to experiment, you need to make mistakes, and that is how you learn the most. It's not like you buy this water bottle, you buy this microphone, you buy this iPhone or whatever, and it's all profitable, and you just take all the money out of the business, and you, before you know it, you have a six-figure business. One of the comments of one of the people that were in the group was like, "I'm just getting started. I hope to have a six-figure business by the end of the year." And that's if you would have to have a ton of capital. You'd be having to spend about $50,000 a month if you want to get to 100K revenue. So you just have to really set your expectations and know that you are going to have to just put in the work, and you got to just think about this stuff. And know that it is a business. Most businesses actually lose money in the first year, outside of Amazon. Or if you think about kind of these big startups in Silicon Valley, like these companies lose money for years before they even start turning a profit. So Amazon is one of the rare cases where you definitely have the opportunity to actually make money in your first year. Number 4, we're just going to go. I usually had this as number 5, but we're just going to do it now. This business will take capital. Cash flow is tough, especially when you just get started and you don't kind of have a nest egg to kind of grow and roll with it. You could start with books. You could start, I have a whole guide in the school, how to start with $0 on Facebook Marketplace and just basically flip free stuff, furniture, all that kind of stuff. So that is definitely an option as well. But just know this business is going to take capital to grow and get it to a spot that you want it to be. And just know that up front, you're not going to turn $5,000 into $100,000 in your first month. Usually, rule of thumb, if you're trying to do 50K in sales, you're probably going to have to spend about 25K if you're doing OA. Retail arbitrage, it differs. It just really depends on what you're shooting for ROI percentage wise. But typically that is what most people say and what we kind of see. Number 5, the last one. This is the hard part, and this is the one that I kind of alluded to earlier on. It is your job to take action. You can't rely on other people to find ASINs for you, tell you the websites to source, tell you when there are sales, tell you what emails to sign up for, tell you everything. And while, yes, you join a group to get this information, and I have all that information, there's probably about, 5 to 8 hours of me live sourcing in the school community. But if you don't consume that, practice that, do that, there's nothing I could do for you. And that is just a harsh reality of this stuff. A lot of the times, I've been in this position too. You try to take shortcuts. You get on a leads list, you just buy that stuff so you could spend less time sourcing, or like maybe I could get a VA to source for me, even though I don't know how to source. And the hard truth is there are just no shortcuts. The best way to grow your Amazon business and profitably and scale it is to do the work you don't want to do, because that is how I grow my business. I'm doing the Amazon influencer program as well, and I have learned a ton from that. And this is kind of why this part kind of stemmed from that. I took a course on how to, get better knowledge on the Amazon influencer program, really scale it up. Watched all the videos, committed to make at least 500 videos, and now it's really starting to take off. But I started back in February, so 8 months ago, let's call it. And things are just now really starting to take off. When I first took the course, they're like, oh, you're going to get all these brand deals, and brands are going to reach out to you, and they're going to pay you and send you free product and all this stuff, and you're just going to get everything, and you could go through creator connections, and people are just going to send you free stuff. Well, guess what? The first 3... I didn't start getting brand deals till about 4 months into it. And it was just stuff here and there. And they're like, hey, we'll send you this little thingy and we'll pay you $5 to make the video. I was grateful to get $5 to make that video. And the idea was I was going to practice and hopefully that video would lead to more videos because other companies, their competitors will see this and hopefully reach out to me. That didn't really happen. But slowly but surely, I started getting more brand deals. And now I'm kind of at the spot where I'm getting reached out to almost daily. And now when people reach out for $5, I don't have time to do the $5 ones anymore. And now the minimum is at least $20 per video, which you might say, well, that's not that much, but it's more specific. It's like products I actually want, products I could like resell on Facebook Marketplace or somewhere else like that. So it's more, I'm being more and more selective. But when I first started, in my head, I was like, I don't know. Like, the course is great and everything like that. But when they're like, oh, you get brand, I was like, I don't know. These people seem like full of shit or whatever. But if I would have quit in like month 3 or 4, and that's kind of the length that people will stay in the group. It's literally about 3 or 4 months, and then they kind of churn out or whatever. And that's fine. Maybe that is just kind of the lifespan. But for Amazon, you need to put in at least 6 to 12 months to even like start to see stuff. Like, I can't even imagine where influencer will be for me in 4 months if I'm just starting to get success now, getting $100 deals, getting, a retainer deal to, for a couple $100 a month. And it's just all starting to click. And that's just I'm not trying to brag about that or talk about influencer, but that is the only way I could relate it. And that's kind of what inspired me to make this video today, is that you have to keep going. No one is going to do the work for you. Like, in that group, everyone's, oh, how do you get brand deals? Everyone's expecting that like someone's just going to hand you a stack of deals. It's like, no, you have to go out and find them. You have to make more videos. You got to look for brands on other sites to see, are they on these other sites? Are they looking for creators? You gotta do all this stuff that I'm not even gonna get into in this video. But a lot of people expect like, oh, hey, like since you gave us this information, like you owe us brand deals that you're working your ass off to get. And that is not the case. And I think that's a lot of the case too when it comes to online arbitrage as well. Hey, you're showing us how to source. Like, you need to give us leads too. And that is probably one of the worst ways to source, because if you're not able to source on your own, even if I give you the best things to buy or whatever, you're always going to rely on me. You're not going to take that as an example and do the reverse sourcing and the leaf sourcing and look into other things that brand has or whatever. So just know that. I hope this video is like not too harsh. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. See you in the next one.